So I just updated my LinkedIn page, and I had gone back and looked at how much money I had generated, how much profits, cash profits I had generated for owners of companies that I'd been working with over the last few years. And I counted up since 2016 over $3.5 million. And that's cash profit that they're putting in their pocket. The valuation on that is $10 or $15 million. And much of that is actually recurring. So they're still earning that money long after I've left the engagement with the company. And the obvious question that comes up is how, if I don't have specific industry experience, how am I able to produce those kinds of results? What's the secret sauce that makes that possible? And the first thing is really experience. I've been doing consulting for 17 years. There is something to knowing how to consult rather than just be an employee. But the other is my breadth of experience. I've worked for General Electric, Pac Bell, billion-dollar corporations. I've worked for a startup. I had my own startup as well. And I've managed the P&Ls. The largest one I managed is $200 million. So I've had a breadth of experience with many different companies. And for the companies that are smaller, and by smaller I mean like 30 million, 20 million, 10 million, those size companies, I see very common themes that are really easy for me to spot. And no two companies are the same, but these themes seem to be kind of recurring. And you can see them right here in the whiteboard that I put together. There you go. And what I do is I put them around three things. One is people, tools, and culture. And let me explain what I mean by that. So if I start with people, I'm talking about the organizational clarity. Often with small companies that have grown up organically, when there's a job to be done, you don't necessarily do a job description and bring in somebody that's trained to do that sort of thing. You usually take the smartest person, or maybe just the person that has the bandwidth or the closest capability to that skill set, and you put them in place. And that holds for some period of time. And very rarely does anybody do an organizational restructure or even an organizational design based on the strategy and vision for the long-term growth of the company. So that's one of the things that I can do very quickly. I can see very quickly. That, along with the income statement, gives me a tremendous view of what's working and what isn't working in an organization. The next thing is about business processes and systems. Getting people the right tools and the right processes is absolutely critical to having a successful business, especially one that you want to scale. And again, we're often running so hard we don't have time to select the right process, to create the right process, select the right systems, that kind of thing. If you look in my history, you'll see that with almost every significant engagement, I've done at least one and sometimes multiple system implementations, because those processes drive accountability, they drive clarity, they give the employees the tools they need to be successful. And the last piece is the culture itself, and the culture specifically around accountability. Now, accountability isn't just calling people out when they don't do their job right. That's what most people think of accountability, but accountability actually is the other way around as well, and that is really identifying praise and putting reward systems and making good work really part of the culture and part of the morale of what happens in an organization. So those are kind of the three big buckets that I look at. If you're at all interested in understanding what I might be able to do for your company, just give me a call or email, and I can stop by and we can have an informal conversation about what you're trying to achieve and how I might be able to help you. Thanks.